And yeah, so I picked up the Yeti X World of Warcraft edition microphone because I know that before the audio I had was not so good, and I bought a Yeti for $100 less about a week ago and tried everything I could every way from Sunday to get it work, and it just would not work. So I figured, you know what, I'll go out and get the best one that I can find and then try it again and see if that works out. But I already unboxed it earlier, and I figured, you know what, I probably should go ahead and video it and show you guys. And this is the computer that I'm using, actually, so you guys can see. I'm using the Asus computer. It's about 4 years old, and it's a top-end gaming rig. So let's get this thing open. All right, so now you guys know I don't have an unboxing type. This isn't the type of videos that I do. But however, I kind of wanted to show you guys that I actually did, that damn going out trying to get, better microphone. So let's see what happens. See if we can get this one to work and see how it sounds. Here's a little tip for you guys if you don't know. If you haven't done this already, when you go to Best Buy, because that's where I got this at, when you buy something that you were not sure if it's going to work out or not, don't use your freaking credit card. Use cash, like the way, things were back in the day. Just use cash. And there's the USB cord. Because if you use cash, when you return it, you can get your cash back. But if you use your credit card or whatever, your debit card or whatever, then it could take up to 2 weeks to get your money back. And I just don't want to wait 2 weeks to get my money back on a product that may not work. Especially if you're putting, some serious bucks into it and you're like, well, I want to get something different, maybe from a different store or whatever, or online. But yeah, that's it. It's a beautiful microphone. I really think these are cool. I wonder if those light up down there. That's all that stuff from those are symbols from World of Warcraft. Bet you those things light up. Does it show it on there if they light up? They might light up. That'd be kind of cool if they do. Oh, you know what? I bet you they don't light up because there is no wires going to that from there. So yeah, that's a shame. They kind of blew it on that. If those symbols lit up, and if it would be World of Warcraft, most likely it would be orange anyhow. Or you'd be able to toggle that from blue to red. Blue being the Alliance and red being the Horde. If you could toggle that and maybe orange for like a neutral thing, or even if they just put all different colors like pink, those things would look freaking slick. If those things really could light up. So they kind of dropped the ball on that because they could have ran a cable that ran up into here, up through there into this microphone that could have gave the power and let the power turn it on. It's as simple as have lights in there. It's as simple as the lights that will come on. Oh wow. Yeah, and see how this thing here, the dial? I bet you when this turns on, I bet you that those lights will come on a dial. And that would be just as simple to do that in there. And that would really set this thing off slick. But, it is what it is. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hook it up. It's just a USB hookup, guys. That's all it is. Just a standard USB hookup. And I'm going to see if I can get it to work. And hopefully, if I do, we'll get some better audio so I can start pumping out, better videos. All right, and if it doesn't work out, I'll let you guys know. Hey everybody, so the microphone is actually working. Hopefully the audio is a lot more clear than it was on the phone, and that this is going to really help make people enjoy listening to the content that I'm talking about, which is pretty much as important as it can get. However, I don't even know how many people are actually really paying attention to the message, paying attention to what's really going on. As I said before, if there's something that I'm wrong about, I will always admit that I'm wrong, that something, I give you the reasons, I lay out the facts. And like I said before, the whole facts with, looking at the 1972 time hack, which I thought was a glitch in a matrix, it doesn't change anything, guys. The fact of a matrix in a time hack, a natural reality where there's a frequency being broadcasted to your mind to block things, so that way you see certain things that aren't there and you don't see certain things that are there. You forget certain things. I mean, we know that that's going on. I mean, how can you not know what's going on, right? Like, it definitely explains a lot with the Mandela effect. So yeah, last year I really was on the whole thing is, this has got to be a simulation. But however, I always said, it's a possibility I could be wrong as far as the end game and being the end of a simulation being 2020. But I definitely was right when I said that it was in game, because 2020 was the end of a bunch of stuff. And the fact that they dubbed 2021 a restart and a reboot and a reset, like it was like on different news stations and newspapers, and if they even got many newspapers left or whatever, but in different countries even talked about 2021 being a reset. Like, how is it possible that countries around the world were dubbing this year, 2021, the same name, the same, still attaching that same thing to it, the reset. So being a reset means that when you reset a game or you're resetting a system of things, that means the year before, whatever happened before, was the end of something. So I was correct when I said that 2020 was in game. It definitely was in game, because 2021 is the reset, and it's definitely it's just bizarre. The whole thing is bizarre. But when you look at it, it was hard to, like I said before, it was very hard to understand, how I got this knowledge was from an alien that came in my school, Draconian. We pretty much figured that out by now. That came in my school, and I could not understand how that worked inside of a simulation, a simulated reality. In a simulated reality, you don't need to unlock somebody's mind by putting a draconian footprints, in a martial arts school. You just don't need to do that when a person's sleeping to unlock their mind. You literally just have to keystroke that in. You won't need to do that, right? It was always the one thing that kind of stuck with me. It kind of like made me like, I couldn't understand why that was, why that happened. But I definitely know for a fact that my mind was not unlocked until 2017, which is at 172. And I was talking earlier today with 1010, and there's a couple of other 172s that's popped up. One of them is the, let's say biblical, right? Like, first we talk about the Quran, we talk about, 72 virgins, one man, 72 virgins, 172. Well, also, Jesus supposedly was dead for 3 days and was risen again. Well, 3 days is what? 72 hours. One man is risen in 72 hours. 172. The number just keeps coming up. And I'm not really all that much into the numerology as much as she is, and a lot of other people get into that. But that number is exactly what 1010 says. What she says. It's like a fingerprint. It's like it's there, and it's showing you that there's definitely something wrong with this reality. And that pretty much goes to the fact that we're either in a simulation or we're in a natural reality, which there's a frequency that gets altered and changed things. So with that being said, of course, if there is time travel, and I said this last year, the moment time travel is possible, it has already happened, and you are already in the past. And I know it's going to be hard for people to wrap their minds around it, but the moment that time travel was ever possible on this planet, I'm not talking the galaxy. I don't even know how the galaxy time travel. I don't know how, if they could manipulate the entire galaxy time, but on a single planet, I'm sure that time can be manipulated. And that might be hard for you guys to understand. It might be hard for your brain to wrap around that. But on this planet, definitely time has been messed with. And I said before in my video that, you can go back 50 years ago. No, I mean 60, 70 years ago. You can go back 70 years ago, back into the 40s when they were working in Germany on time travel. Where did they get this tech? Before that, who else was working on it? Before we heard about that bell that they were creating over there in Germany, that was a time machine. Does anybody have any other recordings of any other time machines that was created before then? If you do, post something about it, because I'd like to find out. We definitely know about that. They were trying to do time travel then, and then you come over to America and they were trying. And you look at Nikola Tesla, who is also working on, had things drawn up on how time travel is possible and how to make it work. So if this is just humans who've only been, how long have humans been on this planet? How long do you think? You know, I mean, maybe a million years? No, like less than that from what we've been told, okay? So if humans are that far into, you know, 50, 60 years ago into working on time travel, then it's already done, guys. It's a done deal. It's already been done. And if humans can do it, then we know that other beings in the universe are way further advanced than us, and they already understand how to do that. So that means that, and I know this is going to be hard for, like I said, for people to wrap their minds around it, but once time travel is possible, you are already in the past. Somebody is already in the future. And I even proved that you can time travel by going into cryostasis when I went out to Alcor. When I went there in January, and I asked the lady, how long can somebody stay in these capsules? Can they stay in there for 1,000 years? She said, yes, you can be frozen for 1,000 years or even more. Well, 1,000 years of being frozen, and then 1,000 years from now, you're telling me, like, I hear like these fake scientists, like, you know, Michio Kaku and Neil deGrasse, whatever, these guys who are really just comedians who are just frontmen for science, and some of the stuff that they're talking about is legit, but then there's other things that they talk about that makes you go, okay, well, that's not a scientific approach. You don't say it's never going to be possible or it's not possible and laugh at a technology like cryogenics, because just because that science is not right now today that they can thaw somebody out in cryogenics, at least not that you know about. But these guys also believe that there's aliens, right? So if they believe that there's aliens, they don't think that they don't have the technology. That's why I don't. These guys are fakes. They're phonies. They're frauds. They're always trying to point you in a different direction. But if you look at the fact that in 1,000 years from now, 100 years from now, 500 years from now, and technology is moving forward. I mean, like, in 1972 is when the first video games were created. Come on, guys. The internet and video games, all that stuff in 1972, that's only 48 years ago. We're not even talking 50 years out, and look at where video games are now. They're at virtual reality already. You know, that's less than 50 years. So, and then you even look at everything else, like just the technology in the past 40 years since 1972, and you look at where it's at now. It's huge. It's a big, huge jump in just 50 years. So in 100 years from now, you're telling me they're not going to have the technology to thaw people out and bring them back from the cryostasis? I'm sorry. If you really are dead set in saying that'll never happen, then that's your ignorance, period. That's just, you're just being ignorant. But the fact that it can be done, and it will be done in the future, means that those people are time travelers. So, you know, and that also brings up, I was just watching that show, The Winter Soldier in Falcon, right? Like, in episode 3 that just came out, you know, a couple days ago or whatever, they brought up 1972 Trouble Man again. You know, 1972 Trouble Man. It was also in the movie Winter Soldier, Captain America, America First. We're always talking about all this stuff, America. Like, all that stuff in 1972, like the big majority of all of it, all evolves around the United States. All evolves around America. Captain America. Captain America's frozen. He goes into the ice in 1945. He's not thawed out until 2012. And then when he gets thawed out, in all those years, and all that time that he missed, the Falcon tells him the only thing you need to know to catch up on everything that you missed is 1972 Trouble Man. Come on, guys. I mean, that's too much. That's too much. And then later on in that movie, they bring up the guy who was the German scientist who no longer was alive, but his mind was uploaded into a computer simulation, right? And so that he still lived on through the simulation. And he says specifically in the movie, in 1972, my body gave out and they uploaded me into this computer on so many databanks. I mean, that's all just in 1 year. And now you're looking at, they bring it up again in the show, and they bring up both those 1972 things are both in there. You can find ties to both of those in there, as well as I was watching somebody who was breaking down the episode, and they also said that they were also a tie to the Tuskegee event. And I was just like, this guy wasn't talking about 1972 stuff, and I'm just like, that's 1972 as well. And so it's all the time. And even like the whole, soldier thing, the movie First Blood. The book was written in 1972. But anyhow, guys, I just wanted to get a quick 12-minute video out for you. I wanted to show you the new microphone, see if you like the audio, see if it came out good. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. This video is going to be a little longer than 12 minutes because I'm going to have, obviously I have the beginning part in it. But yeah, I'm going to try to keep pushing the videos out every day or every other day or something like that. And I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you learn something from the content I'm talking about, because everything I'm talking about is all backed up by factual evidence that you can research and look it up on your own. And with that, guys, enjoy the rest of your time. Welcome. You can call me Radix, the ultra neutral, the one from 72. Doing more and more research and more digging, it now is more apparent to me that we are in a natural reality dealing with an alien species that has hacked time. And because of that, they have left a huge piece of evidence, which is the year 1972, and how that year actually connects to the year 2020, and how I am the only person in the world that is educating people and bringing the message and was able to predict the election in 2020 through great detail, as well as other predictions that also came true that have to do with looking at the year 1972 and the time hack and how it affected the year 2020 and will lead us into civil war, as well as a galactic war that is clearly upon all of us that is coming down. And you'll see that evidence by coming here and looking at the evidence that I present. I'm also going to be teaching you things about how flying saucers work, things about different alien species like the reptilians, the Anunnaki, and about the Greys, because I myself had a reptilian experience where my mind was unlocked, and that is one of the great reasons why I'm able to present all of this knowledge, because up until the year 2017, when my mind was unlocked, not long after that, I was starting to able to see the holes in the reality, see all the connections of the things that were going on that led to a time hack, which tells us learn from them and push forward as humanity, and not to suppress one another and suppress our own species. So if you're ready to have your mind unlocked, if you're ready to receive the message that nobody else in the world is talking about, if you're ready to see the truth, if you're ready to understand and look at the evidence, then welcome to Rat X Files.